We're starting with the peach acrylic from Molly Mall Nails, which you can purchase online at mollymallnails.com. This is a size 12 brush. It has been flattened. So here I'm just going in to make sure that all the sides are flush with the nail bed and the acrylic is not flooding on the skin. One nice bead is how I do it. Make sure it's nice and sturdy. You don't want your acrylic to flow around too much. So here you can see me going in and getting the excess acrylic from under the nail. Basically taking off that whole amount right there using my brush. You can rewind to see exactly how I did it. I'm going to wet my brush and come back and pat everything into place. Once you think you're done, you're not done. You have to blend very, very well. Keep blending, keep blending. Keep playing with the shape at the tip to make sure it's as neat as possible, as clean as possible, and as straight as you would like it. We're going to move on. So I wet the nail bed just a bit so that the acrylic adheres to the nail bed and does not slide off. As I move my acrylic bead around, once my brush is totally dry, I want to wet it just a little bit. Continuing to pat this acrylic into shape, I'm going to blend, 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 go down at the bottom again. And any other errors I can correct with the nail file. So we're going to move on to the baby toe, which can be kind of difficult. You need a nice sturdy bead. Drying my brush so that I can come back. As my brush is dry, it will take some of the liquid from the pinky toe. That way, the brush taking excess liquid from the bead of the pinky toe can allow it to spread without falling all over the nail bed or getting on the skin too much. Simply going in with the brush and making sure everything is as flush as possible. Yes, my brush is a little old, but the job still gets done. They look great. So here we're going to make sure everything is nice and flush. Make sure everything looks good and is aesthetically pleasing. All right. So we're moving on to the drilling process, which is very important. Going under the nail, removing any imperfections with the nail drill. Now, if you're uncomfortable using this drill bit, this type of carbide bit, then let's do a class and get you very comfortable because it makes everything look very flawless. Here I'm getting to all those corners, which is super important. Drilling is a skill that you must practice in order to perfect it. It is not easy to be able to go into these small spaces with a drill, a carbide bit at that, and be successful. Practice, practice, practice. All right, we're going to slow it down just a bit so you can see some more. With the drilling section, I suggest you go back and rewind and just take a look at the position of the drill, the bit, my hands, and how I hold my pinky out for balance. As you can see, I'm making that nice and flush against the nail bed. And clean up under that. Just keep going. Holding the toes can sometimes give you a little bit of leverage It's not always easy to grasp all the toes. Everyone's feet are different. So you kind of have to maneuver around with their feet and being comfortable for yourself. You want to make sure there is not acrylic under the toenail. So with the filing portion, this is the angle that I use to make sure that it's really, really clean at the tip and really straight. I'm going to go in at this direction with the file to make sure the side walls are really clean. We're getting the side walls of all the toes, which is very important. It's important for the overall look, but also to make sure that they are sealed. The acrylic is sealed to the nail bed, and there will be no lifting or cracks or any water can get in anywhere of that sort. Filing can be one of the most important steps as well. Each step has its own level of importance. Filing makes sure everything looks nice and clean. You want to make sure you file each sidewall for each toe. There's that angle again. And that's going to make it nice and straight. Shorten it out just a bit so they're not too long. You see how it got very thick at the tip of the big toe once I filed like that. So the drill will have to correct that. This is a great time to take a look at the drill. Take a look at what it's drilling, where it's actually taking off acrylic, and what is it cleaning up. It's important to be able to understand what you're drilling, what look you're going for, and the results you want. Here we are on the big toe. The more we drill and clean up this acrylic, the look is really coming along. Back to those side walls, make sure they're nice and clean. Alright, buffing, buffing, buffing. Yes, I do my own nails. I do have openings. Final touch-ups. After the buffing, you want to make sure everything is nice and clean. You're going to clean up. It's time to clean the nails off, dust them off. This is very satisfying, so satisfying. They look so beautiful and natural. This peach cobbler is a great color for skin. We're using white gel today. We're going to start out very gentle with our first few strokes to make sure we don't over flood the cuticle area. We're going to go one stroke down the middle, down one side and down the other. That's the most efficient way to paint the nail. We're going to clean up any excess with alcohol. You want to get it off before you put it in the lamp to make sure it does not dry onto the skin. Make sure your toesies, your toe separators, are doing their job as well. Here we are with a nice bead, making those toes look so flawless. You cannot go wrong with the white toe polish.